So, here I am, finally in Canada. I'm at the University of Western Ontario in my little office. It's a little messy right now. And I'm currently wearing my Artistic Director of COA, the Canadian Operatic Arts Academy hat. But I'm going to take it off just for a second to talk a little more about Giulio Cesare. In my last blog, my first blog, I talked about why I love this opera, why I think Cesare is such an extraordinary piece of art. And for blog number 2, I want to talk about why now, what Cesare has to say about our lives today. This opera written in the early 18th century, what it can say to us today. I've decided to set this opera now. And when I say now, I don't mean a general sort of modern dress, modern setting. I mean today, right now, in the deserts of Afghanistan, with the conflict between the Taliban and coalition forces. Cesare is a piece that I think could be set in many, many places. It is such a strong piece, such an amazingly articulate piece that it can work in a number of settings. I've decided to set it right now because I think its themes are eternal. And I wish that weren't the case, because the themes of Giulio Cesare are war, violence, epoch upon epoch of bloodshed and strife and political struggle and great, great pain. And we all wish that were something foreign, that were something that we cannot, as a society, as a world, personally understand. And of course it is. And I felt that perhaps a description of the opening scene of Giulio Cesare would give an idea as to why I think this piece in particular speaks to our current situation in the Middle East. Giulio Cesare opens on the desert. It opens on the desert of an exotic land, a foreign land, a place very distant from our own. And the very first thing that happens is that the leader of the free world, the most powerful man walking the planet, strides into the desert and declares victory. He declares peace, that fighting is over. And onto the scene comes the wife, Cornelia, and the young child, Sesto, of his political rival. And Cornelia and Sesto ask for reconciliation. They ask for peace and forgiveness. Cesare is a man of strong convictions, strong values, and he grants this reconciliation because he believes in clemency. He believes in the Western value of clemency. And at the same moment, a messenger from Ptolemy, who is the local warlord, the leader of this ragtag foreign land. A messenger comes to give Cesare an offering of peace, a sign that Ptolemy wants friendship, wants to be allies. He gives Cesare, there in front of Cornelia, wife of Pompey, Sesto, son of Pompey, he gives Cesare the head, the severed head of Pompey, who he's decapitated, murdered. He gives it as a sign of friendship, a customary sign from his culture of friendship. And Cesare reacts to this act of violence with rage. He humiliates this messenger. He exerts Western superiority over this man. He declares him an infidel. He humiliates him. And from that single act, the whole opera spins out. Tolomeo reacts to the foreign domination of his country by becoming radicalized. He takes power over his land through the subjugation of women, through violence, through domination. Sesto reacts to the murder of his father by seeking first justice against Ptolemy, and then vengeance, and finally revenge. He wants nothing more than to see the blood of Ptolemy pour forth. He wants that so much that he becomes the very thing he hates. And in that way, both Ptolemy and Sesto become terrorists. I think when considering Giulio Cesare, it's important, it's vital to remember that the whole opera starts with a man declaring the end. It starts with a man saying, we are victorious, we have triumphed, our values have won. And not seeing how those actions will spin out into an entire world of new violence, new pain, new bloodshed. And that this is a cycle which continues forever. And I can't think of a message that is more pertinent or describes more exactly our situation now in the Middle East. It is, I hope, a reflection of our current political crisis, social crisis, world crisis, and I hope crisis of conscience that we are having as a society right now. I think it is extraordinary, magical, and essential that opera be part of that conversation. And for that reason, I think this is the time to present Giulio Cesare this way. And I'm thrilled to be able to be doing that in Orchestra London.